Despite the lack of wins, the Scotland supporters are here in their numbers, and they come here perhaps more in hope than expectation that the winning can start again tonight. The performances have been there the last 3.5 games. It's been a lot better, save for the first half against the Poles on match day 1. It's been pretty good, even if they just have that solitary point to show for their efforts. It came in the last game, the goalless draw against the Portuguese here last month, as these two nations prepare to go head to head for the 8th time. They've both won twice, 3 draws. The problem for the Scots is that the 2 Croatian victories have come in the last 2 meetings. I mentioned Euro 2020, a 3-1 Croatia win, and what was a must-win day for Scotland. Croatia blew them away, really. And then the most recent meetings 4 weeks ago in Zagreb in the Maksimir. Croatia coming from behind to win 2-1 thanks to goals from Matanovic and Kramaric either side of half-time, after Ryan Christie had given Scotland the lead. It looked as though they'd salvaged a draw right at the last knock-ins when Che Adams found the net, but the VAR spotted an offside, and it was heartbreak late on, as it has been so often for Steve Clarke recently. That would have felt like a goal, essentially was a goal going in against them. Been plenty of those late on in this campaign. The game against the Poles here, that late penalty. And of course, the late Ronaldo goal that saw Portugal beat them in Lisbon. This is a new game, and there's still hope that the Scots can finish in the top 2 of this section. That's certainly what the vast majority of those inside Hampden Park tonight are hoping for. We shall see what happens. If they are going to finish in the top 2, they need to win by at least 2 tonight against the current 12th ranked side by FIFA. 2018 World Cup finalists, semi-finalists in Qatar last time around. They're a very disappointing European Championship, though, going out in the groups, as Scotland did. And it will be Croatia and their famous red and white who will kick off, going right to left, shooting towards the west end of the stadium. Scotland in navy blue and yellow, as the low ball is fired back immediately from Kramaric to his goalkeeper, who tonight is Katarski. Long one comes all the way through to his opposite number, Craig Gordon, who holds on as 80 caps begins to roam into view. Scotland's number 1 right now. Andy Robertson's one away from that now, as he picks up on the left, rolls it down the line. Christie has to go all the way back to his keeper, and Gordon hits it first time with the left, midway inside his own half on the left-hand side, flicked on by McLean, but picked up there by Kovacic, who missed the game last month, and it's rolled back to Duye Chaleta-Tar. And they have moved to a back 4, which is something they are much more comfortable with. I think Croatia, they've been playing a back 3 under Zlatko Dalic recently. He's come in for criticism for that, but he's gone back to the 4 that has served him so well in the past. It's Baturina on this near side, the young prodigious talent, plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Bigger clubs are sniffing around the Croatian number 16. And it's played back to Chaleta-Tar, who dinks it up towards halfway. Ralston's header infield. Scotland trying to get a feel of the ball here, and Gilmour moves it back to Suter, who finds McLean, who rolls it out to Robertson. Just that one alteration from the game against Portugal, with Tommy Conway replacing the injured Che Adams in the forward role. But the rest of the side remains as it was, and it's Ralston, who's still not featuring for Celtic, really. Got a cameo off the bench against Kilmarnock on Sunday past, as he finds McLean, who rolls it out to the skipper Robertson, who goes back to Hanley, who squares it to Suter. And Scotland looking to settle nice and quickly here, Willie Miller.
Well, they are. They're seeing a fair bit of the ball now. Croatia started with possession, and when they gave it up, Scotland said, nice little bit of possession, but all in their own half. It's really, a case of midfield and defenders being able to get a touch. I'm sure Steve Clarke will be happy with that, the players will be happy with that, but they're looking to progress further forward the pitch as well.
Bouncing ball in the midfield, Croatia getting onto it with Baturina. He was trying to feed it through down this left-hand side to try and bring Petar Sucic into play. Another Dinamo Zagreb player plays his club football with Baturina in the side alongside his cousin Luka Sucic, who plays for Real Sociedad in Spain, as Modric with a pure ball. Would you believe that? How often have we said that down the great man's career? And it goes out of play for a Scotland throw-in, but they've given it straight back to Modric, though McTominay snaps into the challenge. It breaks to Caleta-Car, who finds Gvardiol, and Leanne Crichton was amazed as Luka Modric passed the ball straight into touch over on the far side.
Listen, we won't mind it if the night's going to play out like that. More of it from Luka Modric. We don't need him to be hitting the heights that we're so used to seeing. A fantastic footballer, doesn't really ever misplace a pass, but he's found himself under a little bit of pressure in the early couple of minutes from Scotland, and the ball went out the pitch. But I like the fact Scotland just looking to try and get a handle in the game, compose themselves, work the ball around the back line into the middle of the pitch.
There's a lone blue balloon on the pitch there, which Billy Gilmour has just managed to burst, but it's been given away carelessly. Kramaric picks up inside the box, shoots wide. It's going through the legs of the defender and goes behind for a goal kick. It was a woeful ball. I'm not sure who was the guilty party.
Kenny McLean.
Wow, that was dreadful. Straight to Kramaric. He picked up in the edge of the Scotland box, and he's got away with one there. And that's been a huge problem over the last 14 months. Really bad, unforced errors in dreadful areas of the park.
Kramaric should have done better. I mean, that's a big chance, it's a big opportunity, and it's gifted to him, with Kenny McLean. And you're right, I don't know what he was thinking about. There wasn't, a blue jersey in sight, and he just simply passed it back the way to Kramaric, who gets on his left foot. He's put under a little bit of pressure, but he's still, but 19 yards there, coming on to 18 with the left foot strike, and it's just a woeful effort from him, thankfully.
Well, Kenny McLean will be mightily relieved as Gvardiol passes it back to Caleta-Car. He goes back to his keeper. Katarski plays for the Greek champions. Pauk dinks it out onto that right-hand side there for Jakic of Augsburg in Germany. Shifted into Modric, the greatest footballer in Croatian history. It'll be a sad day for them when he is to retire, though he looks as though he could play for another decade the way he's going. Real Madrid man, and he knocks it forward with the outside of the right boot, and it almost worked out over on the far side for Luka Sucic, but Scotland pick up the scraps in the midfield, and it's Billy Gilmour on the turn, and then he's brought crashing to the ground. The Israeli referee's happy with the tackle, though. It's Batarina, rolls it left hand side of the box for Kramaric, looking to get on the right. He has it now, rolls it just towards the penalty spot. Sucic turns it back, and it's rifled high over the bar by his cousin Luka Sucic, and that will be a goal kick. But it's another opportunity for Croatia. They've had two superb chances in the opening 5 minutes. It stays 0-0.
Yeah, it's another big chance for Croatia. Again, it comes from Scotland. Billy Gilmour does really well initially, just takes too many touches. He's looking for the foul, the ball's won back perfectly fine in the middle of the pitch for me. They move it forward, they work it to this left hand side again, and I thought Kramaric was going to take the shot on himself, but he squares it to an unmarked player, and eventually Sukic blasts it over the bar. But you've got to be hitting the target.
Yeah, another big chance.
Let off for Scotland twice, Billy.
It's very early in the game as well. Want to get yourself bedded in. That could have easily been a goal or two. And Billy Gilmour, it's a great tackle, it's a great challenge. There's no doubt that it isn't a foul, but he just overhit it, and then they work it so well too, don't they? The close control, and just couldn't fashion the opening until it falls to Sucic at the back post, and he makes a just dreadful decision over the bar. So that's two great opportunities that should have been much more difficult for Scotland to defend, and wasted by Croatia.
The rain is swirling around Hampden. It's not really blowing in any one direction at the moment, though the flags seem to be blowing in an easterly direction over on the north stand roof on the far side. As Scotland pick up with Christie, he got that goal in Zagreb last month. Squares it out to this near side for Gilmour, and onto the touchline for Doak, who gives it away this time. It's another cheap ball given away, and straight to Kovacic. These Croatian players are too good to be given a helping hand the way Scotland are right now. They don't need a hand.
No, they certainly don't, and you can see Steve Clarke there just getting on at his players a little bit. Not good enough. Early couple of minutes, too many slack passes, too many blind passes, horizontal ones that the Croatian players can easily cut out as well. Not been good enough in possession from Scotland. If you're looking to set the marker early, it's not good enough.
Croatia have had almost exclusive ownership of the ball, and it's Gvardiol going all the way back to his goalkeeper. It's been a nervy start by Scotland. This still goalless here, goalless in Porto. between Portugal and Poland in the Dragao are here right now. Croatia have it, and they've gone all the way back to Katarski, the keeper.
The good thing is we've got away with it, to be perfectly honest. You know, what is it, 7 minutes on the clock, probably 6. 2 chances in the first 6 minutes. Steve Clark will be disappointed with that. And you're saying we haven't had the ball. We have had the ball, Liam, but we've given it away, haven't we? We've given it away cheaply.
Ralston collects on this near side. He's in the Croatia half. Short ball to McTominay, to Ralston, to Gilmour, to his Napoli clubmate McTominay. He was on the score sheet against Inter, the champions of Italy, at the weekend on their own patch in the San Siro. Napoli currently top of Serie A as they look to win the title back, as it's knocked out for a Scotland throw-in on this near side. Ralston takes in front of rewatching Zlatko Dalic, who was the man who led them to that World Cup final in Moscow in 2018. They're beaten by that brilliant French side. McTominay gets onto it from Suter. Good ball by John Suter. This time McTominay out the far side for Robertson. A little bit too much on it, but Robertson makes it work. Picks up, finds Gilmour, who looks for the big switch out to Doak on this near side. First chance for Ben Doak to run at Gvardiol. He had him on toast in Zagreb at times last month. Rolls it with the left foot. Infield to Gilmour. Square to McTominay. Men all over him though. No foul. Croatia win it back, and now there's a chance for them to stretch their legs, driving forward here in Kramaric as he stayed onside, getting it from Kovacic, left hand side of the box. He's on the right foot, and his effort saved by the foot of Gordon, and behind for the corner. There was no offside. The flag hasn't gone up, it's been pointed down to the quadrant, so it is a corner to Croatia. So that goal very much would have stood there, certainly when it comes to the on-field referees. 9 in, 0-0.
It's another big chance. Craig Gordon does remarkably well because he's wrong-footed. He manages to just at the very last second get his right foot to turn it round for the corner, but it comes from Scotland again being really slack. It's the first chance. I'll come back to it, Liam, after this corner. I'll let you take
corner.
it.
Well, it's a really good challenge there by Robertson on this near side of his box, and he rolls it out to Doak on this near side, and then he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Scotland are going to have to screw the nut here, because there's another loose one, this time from the goalkeeper on the north stand side, out for a Croatia throw-in. This has been a woeful start to the match by Steve Clark's men. It's been terrible.
Yeah, all I was going to say, Liam, brilliant switch of play that came from Billy Gilmour out to Ben Doak for the first time in the game. Isolated with an opportunity to go and run his defender in a 1v1 situation, and Tony Ralston makes a run into the channel and blocks the space that he can run at. That just shows you the level that Scotland has started this game at. No understanding about their star players, no understanding about how to go and carry a threat going forward. Too slack in possession, no focus, no concentration. They have to do better.
Yeah, just leave the space for Doak to take advantage of. But you know, Craig Gordon, I think initially he went to his left too early, but he managed to recover and somehow get his toe on it just to squeeze that strike from Kramaric round the post. 3 big chances, 10 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hold out and withstand it for 90 minutes if you're conceding those number of opportunities in the opening 10. Croatia have it at the edge of their own box. It's with Chaleta Tsar. They've certainly looked much more comfortable than they did in the game in Zagreb in the early stages of Croatia, and it's with their goalkeeper Katarski, who replaces the suspended Livakovic this evening. This is just his second cap. He's played out off a Scotland head on this near side for a throw-in, which Joško Gvardiol is over, rolls it back to Chaleta Tsar, and then to Katarski.
You know, we talk at this level, and Steve Clark talks at this level, and you know how ruthless teams can be. Well, there's 3 opportunities, and there's not any ruthlessness in sight so far, thankfully.
I mean, Scotland have conceded 33 goals in this 1 in 16 run, and on the evidence of the opening stages of this, you can see why. But here's a chance for Gilmour to try and get Conway engaged up the right-hand side. He's not going to get there, and it's going to be mopped up there by Šutalo. Back to his keeper Katarski, plays it short to Chaleta Tsar, out to Jakic on the far side, and he plays it to Modric, right of the centre circle. Side foot ball forward there to Petar Sucic, and his first time ball goes out for a throw-in, but actually the refs brought it back for a foul. There was a late challenge there on the Croatia number 17 there, Petar Sucic, and that will be a free kick to the visitors, right of the centre circle. 12 in, Scotland 0, Croatia 0. The latter 0 only just. And he's still down there, the Croatian. On the far side, boos from the Tartan Army, but actually a stoppage in play is probably no bad thing right now, because this has been a tortuous opening to proceedings, but it is still goalless, which is the only positive Steve Clarke's got from the start of this match. He would have hoped that his team, and I said it to you in the opening seconds, Willie, his team would bed themselves in nice and quickly. It hasn't come to pass, sadly.
No, it hasn't. And Grant Hanley in there, was there a yellow card? There should have been a yellow card. I don't think there was there? I mean, he's nowhere near the ball. He's nowhere near the ball, you know, as he makes the challenge. I'm really surprised the referee didn't take stronger action.
Croatia take the free kick eventually, and it's with Modric, rolls it out to the right-hand touchline. It's going to be turned infield towards Baterina, cut out momentarily there by Gilmour. Now with Kovacic, who knows Billy Gilmour very well from their time at Chelsea. Kramaric goes back to Chaleta Tsar, out to Gvardiol on the near side, and Chaleta Tsar has it midway inside the Scotland half, rolls it wide left onto this near side for Gvardiol, back up the line for Baturina, and then to Kovacic, and then back into the centre circle for Shutalo, forward to Modric, steps away from McLean, and then side puts away from McTominay. The ref didn't like the challenge on the Croatia captain, number 10, Modric, and the free kick's taken quickly by Kovacic, and now with Modric again, steps away from Gilmour, forward to Gvardiol, back to Modric, flicks it with the outside of the right boots, a tackle which takes it back towards his own goal there. Not sure if it was McLean, and it's gone behind off Suter for a Croatia corner. It's been such a nervy opening for those Scotland players and for the Scotland supporters who are out here in fabulous numbers again tonight.
That bad pass hasn't affected Modric at all, is it?
He's a joy to watch, Willie, isn't he?
Yeah, brilliant, just magnificent. The whole team is at present.
Luka Sucic takes the corner, flicked away the near post by Robertson. Baterina picks up the scraps midway inside the Scotland half to Modric. On this near side to Luka Sucic, back to Modric, decides against the cross, back out to this left hand side. In comes the ball from Luka Sucic, it's headed away back out to this near side touchline. Robertson can't get his head onto it. Luka Sucic level with the 18-yard line, back to Modric, right footed, big crossfield ball to the far side of the penalty area where Christie heads it away, looking to knock it out for a throw-in, which he does. Kramaric takes it quickly though. He was the decisive figure last month, scored Croatia's second in their 2-1 win. Here's Modric picking up in the centre of the pitch, dinks it out to Gvardiol on the near side, wonderful couple of touches, he's away from his man, Doak into the box, challenged by Ralston, and behind for the corner. Croatia are toying with Scotland here, 15 in, 0-0. It's going to take some sea change over the course of the rest of this match to turn the tide here.
Yeah, Croatia, they're in total control. Scotland are found wanting. They don't know when to press, they don't know how to press, they're so disjointed, they've not been able to get close, not laid a glove on any of the Croatian players other than that late challenge from Grant Hanley.
Out swinging corner, Luka Sucic, the header's won by a Croat. It was Kovacic, but he heads it out to that right hand side of the box. They pick up the second ball though, Croatia. It's dinked back into the box by Kovacic. There's a header from Chaleta Tsar along the 6-yard line, away by Hanley. Now with Doak on this near side, runs into Modric, and Croatia have it back immediately. Modric to the overlapping Baterina, level with the Scotland penalty spot, back to Modric. Baterina trying to stay on side, he's on it now, Baterina, the youngster, but he's carried it over the line, and that will be a goal kick, and it will stay Scotland 0, Croatia 0. It's a bit of a lesson right now.
It's a big lesson. You know, Croatia in top form, they've got a swagger about them, they've got a certain class about how they treat the ball as well, and how they link with each other. The passing, the weight of pass has been superb as well, and we're the exact opposite. You know, we keep giving the ball away. It's
Gilmour this time. Gilmour this time. Now it's Modric. Kramaric holding off McLean. Squares it to Luka Sucic. Runs into trouble. Scotland get it half away, but it's Kovacic who picks it up, and now it's with Modric. Modric just knocking it to his left for Gvardiol, and out to Baterina on the touchline. To Gvardiol, low ball forward, cut out by Gilmour. Modric has it now, Gvardiol. Infield to Baterina. Croatia know how important this game is. They know, and it seems a long way off right now, that a 2-goal Scotland victory threatens their hopes of finishing in the top 2 as Modric dinks it forward left-hand side of the box. Peter Sucic can't get onto it, and he goes behind for the goal kick. What a ball from Modric. He is the puppet master and is a joy to behold, even at the age of 39.
Oh, he's the only silver lining watching this game just now, Liam. Twice with outside of the right boot, he's just played a couple of wonderful passes. Croatia are in cruise control. They're not even out of second gear, but they're moving the ball really well. It looks to me in a game plan that Scotland have looked at, and I don't know if they've expected it to be as difficult as it is just now to go and win the ball back, because they don't look like a side that have planned and prepared to sit off and get ready to win the ball off of mistakes in a mid-block. They look as if there's an element of them that they've set up to press, and they now don't know how to press against Croatia and how well they're moving it.
Here's a rear touch for Tommy Conway, who's surely fouled by Coletta Sarr. The ref allowing the advantage because Dokes away from Guardiola. Driving the edge of the box. Chance here. The shot from McTominay is beaten away by Katarski and behind for the corner. And just like that, Scotland flash into life. And Scott McTominay gets a shot on target. Would you believe it? Corner.
Yes, it's a good controlled strike as well. Not an easy one to take as Doak, cuts. It's kind of a forward pass to him, just outside of the box, and he's tried to just give enough power with inside his foot. Listen, it's lifted the spirits, it's lifted the crowd. It's the first time that Scotland, 16, 18 minutes gone, first time that they've actually threatened, first time they've made anything with the ball.
Christie with the corner into the box, headed back out to him on this near side. Christie second chance, controls, crosses in, it almost reached McTominay. Hanley's at the back post, can't get a touch, but it's come off the defender, and Scotland have another corner. This place has come to life now.
Yeah, a couple of good deliveries from Ryan Christie. The first one defended well, the second one comes back out and again defended really well. Not sure who it was that get the touch on it, but it's just flicked away at that back area. You could just tell that Ryan Christie's searching for McTominay, he's searching for Suter. Two guys that have a real physical presence inside those areas.
In swinging corner from the other side this time. Flashed into the 6-yard box, headed away by Guardiola. Now with Ralston, fires it out to Kenny McLean on this near side. McLean on the left foot, bends the ball in, it's a useful one as well, and Croatia happy through Coletta Sarr to put it behind for another Scotland corner. Up against it, under the cosh, all of a sudden a shot on target and 3 corners.
Yeah, it lifts you, it lifts the team, lifts the spirit, lifts the atmosphere, and Kenny McLean just drifting that one into a dangerous area, looking for McTominay, but well defended.
Christie on this near side, fires it towards the back post area where Hanley will nod it behind. He skipped off his forehead and behind harmlessly for a Croatia goal kick. It is goalless here, as it is in Porto, between Portugal and Poland, the other game in the group.
Much better though from Scotland, just that quick turnover. Liam, as you say, things change very, very quickly. Before you know it, you've got a strong period in the opposition's box to look to try and cause them some problems. Lifted the crowd, hopefully it's lifted the players and they can look to maintain it.
There's Kenny McLean stabbing it out to Ralston on the near side. Doak wants it, and that all came from Ben Doak's ingenuity, getting himself away from Guardiola, who played beautifully against last month. Doak goes back to Ralston, to Suter, and now Gilmore, who pops up between the two centre-backs on the edge of the centre circle in his own half. Finds Hanley, back to Gilmore, up onto halfway for Christie, goes back to Grant Hanley. He's been so long in the national setup. We did have a gap there a few years ago when he made his debut in Dublin in 2011. Grant Hanley's 13 years, more than that, 13 and a half years in the national setup. The big man from Dumfries. As Ralston picks up, having got a throw in, behind Gilmore, back to Ralston, he sweeps it back down the line for Suter, and infield to Hanley. Scotland, have they settled? Have they finally settled in the game, having weathered the red and white storm in the early stages of the game? 21 played, 0-0. Here's Gilmore in the centre circle. Moves to the left of it, still in his own half, short to McLean, and then fires it out to this near side for John Suter. Striding up to halfway, crosses it now, and rolls it out to the touchline for Doak. And I'm sure that ball was for Gilmore, but it's gone all the way back to Craig Gordon, who plays it short to Hanley. And now it's with Gilmore, and out to McLean on the left-hand side. McLean down the line for Robertson. He tried to return the favour for Christie down the far side. It's blocked, but it breaks back the way. And it's McLean exchanging passes with Hanley to McLean, and infield to McTominay. He's playing as the effective number 10 again this evening, but he's picked it up Pretty withdrawn position there. It's played to Gilmour by McLean and out to Suter on the near side. It's a long ball. Conway might have been in an offside position. It doesn't matter because Hutalo of Ajax has headed it back to his goalkeeper Katarski. It's Scotland 0, Croatia 0, approaching the end of the first quarter.
It's really too speculative, that ball, isn't it? You know, he's playing it up to Conway. Conway's on his own as well. Two wide players are very wide, one right, one left, and you know, it's a difficult one for him to do anything with, you know, up against the two centre backs. So I think John Suter, after a really good, you know, period of possession, just keep the ball.
Croatia have it with Modric. Again, it's that outside of the boot ball forward to Kramaric. Holds off Suter well, works it back to Modric, looking to pick out a ball, and he's done so again. He's so pinpoint out to the right hand side. It's now with Lukas Sucic getting it from Jakic. The right angle of the box, being forced back the way, then he disguises the ball into the box towards Baturina, who throws out the right leg, and he's managed to get an effort on Craig Gordon there, an effort on target. The Scotland goalkeeper holds it pretty comfortably. A header might well have been a better option for Baturina. He went with the right foot. It was a pretty tame effort in the end as Gilmour gives it away again, and it's gone straight to Joško Gvardiol, who's striding up to the edge of the Scotland box. His pass is cut out by Gilmour. Gilmour runs into Modric, out to the left hand side. Modric has found Baturina onto the right foot. He goes for goal. It's blocked by Suter. Modric, little cushion header to the edge of the box for Petar Sucic. Rolled back by Baturina to Kovacic. Out to the right hand side. Croatia have got loads forward here. They are really pushing right now, deep in Scottish territory. Out to the right hand side, it's going to be Lukas Sucic, infield to Kramaric. Heavy touch allows McTominay to win it back. Hanley has it, goes back to his goalkeeper, and Gordon slices the ball forward out to the left hand side. Christie can't get onto it. Croatia have it back again. They just look much more comfortable in possession, where they look as though they've got a few seconds on the ball per person. Scotland, when they've got the ball, don't seem to have that sort of time available to them.
But they give away the ball when they're not under pressure, Scotland. You know, I think if they would just concentrate a little bit more on, and when they have managed to have a little spell of possession, then it's looked pretty decent. But then they simply give it away when they're really not under any pressure at all. Baturina, I can't understand why he didn't go with his head for that one.
No.
Kramaric is in the middle. He's totally unmarked. If he heads that back across the goal, it's in the back of the net.
Yep, agreed, Willie.
Well, Baturina's been dubbed the next Modric. And I know Manchester United have been credited with an interest amongst others in his services in the very near future. As Kovacic picks up and squares it to Modric. Low ball, side-footed out to the right-hand side for Lukas Sucic. In fact, it's Jakic who's on the ball now, level with the Scotland 6-yard line. His ball across, cut out by Robertson. He got something on it. Breaks back to the angle of the box, and it's fired forward towards goal, and it just goes past the left-hand post. I mean, Croatia are claiming corner. I think I heard a touch, let alone saw one there. I think Scotland are getting away with one. The Israeli officials, for some reason, have missed it. It stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0 and 25.
I think the players' reaction probably tells you the majority of the Croatian players affronted that it wasn't, and I think the Scotland players, not many of them started to make their way out of the penalty area because I think they were expecting to remain in there and defend the corner. We'll take it though.
Yeah, nothing each. It is. I mean, win the game first and foremost. Pot 1 for the World Cup qualifying draw is a long shot anyway. Just win the game, and if you can win this one, win the game on Monday in Warsaw, you see where the chips land and see what happens in that draw next month. But if you're in the top two pots, it makes life so much easier, and Scotland know that only too well, having not reached a World Cup finals since 1998. Here is Baturina. It's got Petar Sucic to his left. Baturina into central area, finds Modric, the two at the opposite ends of the career, as it's moved out to the right for Petar Sucic. Back to Modric, midway inside the Scotland half, right to centre, out to Lukas Sucic. Jakic out there too. It's going to be a square ball to Baturina, finds himself a little pocket of space, rolls it to the left angle of the box for Gvardiol. Back to Kramaric. And Croatia number 9, infield to Kovacic. Back to Kramaric on this left flank. Out onto the touchline it goes to Gvardiol. Infield to Baturina, looking to slip it through. It's cut out by Gilmour, and then Ralston collects. He's done really well at the right angle of his own box. Gilmour has it and finds Ralston, but just look at this. Scotland just look panicky every time they're on the ball. Here's Kenny McLean though, looking to change that. Forward to Doak, lovely touch from Ben Doak, infield to McLean, continuing the charge, forward to Conway. They've broken well here. Conway's got Doak for support. Doak's moved into the box, Conway's wide right, finds McLean. Back to Conway, level with the edge of the D of the Croatia box, being forced back the way. Fires it back to Hanley. Now McTominay. It was a good counter by Scotland that. Here's McTominay. Carrying it out to the left. Robertson didn't get himself into a position McTominay felt he could find him in. It's back to Hanley. And then McTominay on the left. And then back to Hanley. And the momentum has come out of the Scotland attack. But they're still on the ball here with Suter, who finds Hanley. I mean, the thing is, Willie, get Doak on the ball.
Yeah, without doubt. But McTominay there, I thought Robertson was in a perfect position to receive the pass inside the full-back, but he decided not to play it.
Doak has it on this near side, of course, on loan at Middlesbrough, teammate of Tommy Conway, so they'll have a good recent understanding. They've been involved in Middlesbrough goals, the two of them, as McTominay picks up. He couldn't quite slip it behind the defender for Robertson, and it's cut out, and it breaks to Kovacic at the edge of his own box. And the Manchester City man takes it up to midway and rolls it back to Shutalo. And it's a short ball to Modric. We played 28 goalless minutes at Hampden. Leanne Crichton.
It's just for me a couple of moments now. Willie's right. I thought McTominay could have found Robertson earlier in the left-hand side, but as much as we're desperate to get Ben Doak on the ball, I think Andy Robertson gives you that outlet as well, and we've not stretched the game. We've not used the width of the pitch. We've not used the pace in both sides, left nor right. I just don't think they're asking enough of Croatia in terms of their defensive attributes.
Not yet, certainly. And they did in Zagreb, but here come Croatia, and it's a break forward down the right. Look at Sucic taking it forward, rolling it, looking for Kramaric. Well covered by Suter though, and it's out for a throw-in. He's having a decent season. I know Rangers haven't hit the heights this campaign. Suter has been one of their bright sparks. As that goes out for a throw into Croatia, level with the Scotland penalty spot on the north stand side as they attack the Mount Florida end off to our left.
He read it really well, and you know, Andy Robertson, okay, you've got to get forward, but I think you've got to time your run a little bit better. When that broke down, it was way ahead of all the midfield. There was a huge gap down that left-hand side, but Suter, you know, he read it really well and just stepped in and made it look very easy.
McLean to Robertson on the left, to Gilmour. Good intricate passing by Scotland. Robertson's ball towards Christie's cut out, but Gilmour was caught, and the Israeli referee's going to dish out the first yellow card of the evening, which has been shown to Peter Sucic. And the Dinamo Zagreb midfielder is yellow carded. Scotland 0, Croatia 0, approaching the half hour. Modric has gone to complain on his teammates' behalf there.
Well, we're just trying to get a little...
Modric is allowed to do that, isn't he?
Oh, aye. Quite rightly so.
Especially when he's got the armband on.
Royalty.
Yeah. 4 La Ligas, 6 Champions Leagues, 5 Super Cups, World Cup runner-up. It's a CV that it's going to hang up there and alongside some of the best.
Remember at the Euros in 2020 we thought his legs were gone?
Here he is, yeah. Yeah, 3.5 years later,
dear.
He's still at it. At the age of 39, Luka Modric. Yeah, Scotland, it's Gilmour. It's 8 games without a win since that match in Faro against Gibraltar, the only one since winning in Cyprus a year past September when everything was rosy in the garden. Scotland giving it away cheaply once again there. Croatia go back the way though, and it's with Chaleta Sarr.
It's a couple of times Liam Craig Gordon now, his distribution's been really poor tonight. A couple of times, one occasion right out the pitch, and for me he's looking to go long, but he's not going long with any sort of intent or intensity to the play. He's just lofting it into the middle of the pitch to players that are not there to win the ball.
Yeah, and talking of poor goalkeeper distribution, that's just been thumped out for a Scotland throw-in on the far side, the north stand side by Katarski. And it's Gilmour to McTominay. He's got options left and right. Robertson was to the left. He's gone for the more difficult option. Doak on the right. He gets it on the chest. Can he control? Yes, he can. Spins away from Gvardiol. Right angle of the box. It's Ben Doak out to this near side for Ralston. Controls. Right foot cross ball comes in. Just a bit too high for McTominay. Robertson keeps it alive. Back to McLean, who lashes it high over the bar first time from the edge of the D. and it stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Willie Miller.
It's a difficult one to take. It's on his left foot, right enough, Kenny McLean, but it's bouncing quite high. Maybe a touch would be the better decision there, but the crossfield passing did really well. It wasn't a particularly great one to be able to control, but he managed to get it down in his chest and set up Ralston for the cross into the box, and then the shot, unfortunately, way over the bar.
It will be a Croatia ball, a little stoppage in play. It will be a goal kick.
Just on Craig Gordon, he's just clearing it, isn't he? There's no thought behind it. There doesn't seem to be players looking for it, or he is looking for players. It's a case of you've got possession, it ends up back with him, and he's just playing it anywhere.
But I feel like even when he's going long, he could go longer. I feel like he's kind of clipping it into the middle of the pitch, hoping that somebody's maybe going to play off it. I don't know. I almost feel if you're clearing your lines, you can look to go and do it with a bit more intent, and it's just turned into a kind of transition to defend for Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of McTominay, really, there's no real height that you want.
He's kicking at a point though, Liam. For me, when you go long, you look and try and get bodies in a bit tighter. You pull your wide ones in and look to try and get at least your central striker and your 10, i.e. McTominay and Conway, together so that you can go and play off one another. But the players are left isolated.
Another loose ball, Hanley this time. Croatia trying to profit. They've got it at the edge of the penalty area. Kramaric looking to feed it through. It's blocked. Breaks to Baterina. Gets it from Kovacic. Looking for space to shoot. Instead he passes it right of the D. Comes back to Kovacic. Out to the right angle of the Scotland box for Luka Sucic. Modric on the overlap. Modric level with the penalty spot. Wins the corner off Robertson. Yet another unforced error, and this time Grant Hanley's the guilty party. Scotland 0, Croatia 0 in 33 and a half.
Yeah, you just keep riding your luck, don't you? When you give the ball away constantly like that, quite simply, there should have been an easier pass on for him. But he's given it away maybe some 30 yards from goal as well, and they've got momentum as well. They've got fantastic skill in and around the box. The only thing that's lacking for Croatia is that they somehow haven't managed to create a pocket of space to get the strike on target. So I suppose we should say that at least the Scotland defenders are acting well enough.
Modric with the corner, headed away by Robertson. It's only halfway. Oh, what a shot it was, and it's blocked there by Gordon. It was Luka Sucic. A thunderbolt. Modric with the cross in. It's Gordon gets something on it. Headed back towards goal by Chaleta Tsar. And the Scotland keeper clutches on his 6-yard line. And it stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Scotland have a man down inside the goal mouth. I think it's Ralston. Not sure if he's going to require attention, but what a shot that was from Luka Sucic. He scored one of the best goals that I've seen this season when he scored for Real Sociedad against Atletico Madrid in the Metropolitano. It was his first goal in La Liga after moving to Real Sociedad. It was outside the box as well. Very different kind of effort to that one, but that came at some rate of knots at the Scotland keeper.
It's a phenomenal strike, Liam. It really is. The technique to just arrive and meet the ball as flush as that, to keep the power and the accuracy. Craig Gordon does really well, clears his lines and does brilliantly as the second ball comes in, and then catches it at a third attempt. Really takes the pressure off of Scotland, but that would have been up there with one of the best strikes that I've seen in the flesh if that had hit the back of the net.
He was just in the right place, wasn't he, Craig Gordon? I mean, he didn't actually have to do too much. He just get his hands out in front of him because it was a laser. If it was anywhere else, it's past you before you can do anything about it.
I'll put it this way, that was a much more powerful effort than the one we saw Poland score their opening goal from, which beat Angus Gunn on match day 1. Scotland come forward, Christie out wide right for Doak. Doak looking to slip it forward to Ralston. He wasn't onto it quickly enough though. And Croatia able to clear through Chaleta Tsar. Down this near side, it comes all the way through to Suter, who squares it to Hanley. We're well now into the final 10 minutes, at least 9 minutes to go until the end of the 45, nothing each, and it's Scotland in possession with Billy Gilmore. It remains 0-0 in Porto as well, incidentally, the other game in the group, Portugal-Poland, and it is John Suter picking up and finding Ralston, and then infield to Gilmore. Gilmore rolls it out to Doak. That's another loose one from a Scotland player,
Ryan Christie this time. Christie. They've all had their crack at it, Liam, putting the ball out the pitch, and just a couple of minutes ago, Tony Ralston, I mean, I love his enthusiasm and his desire to get forward, but I wish he would stop running into the same channel that Ben Doak's got a 1v1 situation. it might give Scotland a chance to go and at least win another corner, ask Croatia to defend.
Is that a Celtic thing? No, they play with the inverted.
Possibly, possibly.
Fullbacks who like to go there, but even when you watch Celtic at times, they're wide players on the ball, and all of a sudden the fullback goes into the space where you think, surely the manager's saying, why are you going into that space?
I know.
And particularly with Doak, the pace that he's got, just give him that space to occupy and take the defender on.
The ball's been in play so often. I've not had a chance to go to the former Scotland manager Craig Levein, who's sitting to my left. I will go to him at the next break in play to see what he's making of this, and then you can hear the scream of frustration from Kenny McLean. And Craig Levein, it has been a frustrating watch for the Scotland supporters in the main.
We've been very fortunate, and you know, I'm just making notes here of the mistakes. I'm up at about 11 now, and I mean mistakes that are you know, they're not difficult situations to get out of. You know, there's a lack of confidence on the ball. That's a worry for me. And you know, we're giving the ball away constantly, and we've been tad fortunate, I think, not to be behind.
Hear more from Craig at the interval as Croatia pick up a throw in right up the pitch level with the Scotland penalty spot. Gvardiol gets it back from Petar Sucic, looking to try and win a corner, but the flag's gone up over on the far side, and Scotland will have a free kick on their right flank, deep inside their own half. Scotland off to Warsaw in the National Stadium on Monday night, the final game of this Nations League section, which has been lesson after lesson. You suspected it would be like that, given they're coming up against the behemoths of European football by and large. Try and stay in League A. You're actually better being in League A when it's a European Championship cycle than you are a World Cup cycle. Unfortunately for Scotland, if they were to be relegated back to League B, you're on the wrong side of the cycle, because if you're in League A when there's a European Championship round the corner, they tend to sort out the pots differently, but actually you've got if you win your group, a guaranteed playoff place. But if you don't win your group in League A in a Euro cycle, they simply drop down the Nations League rankings to find the team that hasn't managed to get through to a playoff via the European Championship qualifiers. The World Cup's worked out very differently. You've got to win your group, and that's it. It's the group winners who don't qualify who they turn to, not those who have finished lower down in the sections in League A, unfortunately, in a World Cup cycle. And that's where Scotland find themselves as Croatia pick up on the right hand side. It's rolled into their own penalty area for Chaleta Tsar, rolls it forward to Baterina. He's managed to fire it out to the right. Robertson's got a race on here to try and get back against Luka Sucic. Sucic has it, looks to roll it left hand side of the box. It's Kramaric approaching the final 5 of the first half. Kramaric on the left, onto the right, back onto the left hand side of the 6-yard area, back to Baterina, who slashes at fresh air, and Christie picks up the loose ball and clears out to Conway on the far side. He rolls it back to Robertson at the edge of his own box, and he in turn goes back to his keeper. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. It's been a tough watch.
Yeah, well,
Christie's has been wiped out by Chaleta Tsar, incidentally, and there's a yellow card to the Croatia number 5.
Again, a bit fortunate, you know, Baterina getting an opportunity again on the edge of the box. It's a fresh air swipe, isn't it? I mean, it's came to him pretty quickly. It's not on the edge of the box. Just seen a replay. It's well inside the box.
Even Kramaric, really, right away, you'd be looking for him to go and get his shot off, because there's enough bodies in there. Even if Craig Gordon is forced to make the save with his hands or his feet, coming back into a congested area. I think Croatia are trying to overcook it. They're trying to walk it into the back of the net.
Too much work in the ball inside the box.
Yeah, just look to get your shot off. Scotland could be in a bit more bother if that's the case.
Scotland have a group of players already on a yellow card as Leanne sees a replay of Chaleta Tsar bulldozing Ryan Christie. Deserved yellow card. Looking at that, the players on a yellow card: Ralston, Robertson, Christie, Hanley, Gilmore and McTominay. They pick up a second booking tonight. They miss Warsaw, and that's something to worry about further down the line. 0-0 it is here. It's not the sort of game you can play within yourself against this standard of opposition. World Cup finalists just 6.5 years ago, and a good fist of it in Qatar as well, reaching the semis. It is Suter rolling it to Ralston. That's another poor ball, but he gets away with it. Breaks favourably for Gilmore, who goes back to Ralston. Infield to Suter. It's going to be very interesting to see if Stevie Clarke makes changes at the break. I wonder if John McGinn's coming into his thoughts. Somebody who can hold the ball up, shield it, and we know what he can do if he gets the opportunity in the final third. As Doak is challenged well by Gvardiol with Baterina. As fouled Ralston. It's a free kick to Scotland, level with the edge of the centre circle on this near side.
You could see a string of changes at half-time, Liam, and I don't think any of the players would have a thing to say about it. It's a type of game that you could go and make 3 changes and also change the system, because there's not one thing that Scotland have been able to do yet that's actually worked or come off, that's benefited or played to the strengths of the individuals on the pitch.
No, it's been poor.
Only good news is it's 0-0.
Yeah, if it gets to 0-0 at half-time, that is a decent result for Clark. As Hanley picks up and rolls it to his left. It's Gilmore. It's a dink ball forward looking for Conway. Is he on or off? Flag stays down for the minute. Conway goes down at the edge of the box. No foul. Flag has gone up in the end. He did look offside when the ball was played, it has to be said. And so it was. And it will be a free kick to Croatia, the edge of their own penalty area. Scotland 0, Croatia 0, 42 and a half on the clock.
Yeah, certainly looked as if he'd gone a bit early.
Yeah, it was, yeah. You know, and I didn't think it was an infringement either when he went down, but it's not really worked, has it, so far? The Conway experiment. I don't think it's his fault, to be perfectly honest. He hasn't had any kind of a service whatsoever, but uncertain.
It's another yellow, Peter Sucic this
Red
time,
card.
and it's a second yellow, so off he goes. Croatia down to 10, and what a boost that is for Scotland. Peter Sucic complains, but he can complain all he likes. VAR doesn't intervene with second yellows. He's a goner, and Croatia are down to 10. Well, is it just one of those nights for Scotland, you wonder now?
Well, it seems like it, Liam, if I'm being honest, the way things are playing out. I don't know how much contact there's been. I mean, I've just had another rerun. Very, very little contact.
Is he saying an elbow? Is it?
I think that's the way he's interpreted.
Someone else has been booked. Kramaric has been booked for dissent.
For me, I think it was John Souttar, and he did stumble back, John Souttar, but it almost looked more to me like it was just 2 players are coming together. We'll hopefully get another rerun, but it's a huge boost for Scotland, that is.
Oh, massive, absolutely massive. Guy's getting a replay of it just now.
He's done nothing at all.
I don't think there's anything in that at all.
No, it's his back. Souttar's run into his back.
I don't know if he's seen it as being like a high boot. He kind of flicks his right boot probably about knee high, but there's no contact with John Souttar. The 2 players just run into one another. You can understand why the Croatian players are around the referee.
They are furious. Now, you can't mob the referee anymore. It's Modric is the only one who's allowed to speak to him in this kind of situation, and even then he used to temper it.
Absolutely. I don't know what the delay is. I don't know why the referee's not just restarting play, because as we know, VAR can't intervene.
I think he's just trying to sort the complaints out right now. I mean, Kovacic is still going. Scotland can take the free kick. They've got a man more now. We're well into the final minute of the 45. There'll be a few bolted on at the end now, after all of that, as McLean picks up and rolls it forward to Ralston, the edge of the Croatia box, out to Doak, right hand side. Could he get even better before the interval? Back to Gilmore, flights the cross ball in, it's flicked half away. Robertson heads towards the penalty spot, nodded clear, 2 minutes being added, offside flag goes up anyway. It's the Scotland 0, 10-man Croatia 0. Zlatko Dalic, the Croatia manager down there, is apoplectic with rage and fury, and he's gesticulating to the 4th official down there. It's not going to do him any good. He's right to be aggrieved, but nothing can be done about it. The Israeli referees made the decision. We've all seen unjust red cards, second yellows. This is one of them, but Scotland have to take advantage of it now. Yeah, they have. Look, Scotland have been there at times, decisions that have gone against them, and they've had to react. But tonight just appears so far to be one of those nights that things are going their way without even really doing much to influence it themselves. There's McLean giving it away again, though. Baterina, we're in the first of 2 minutes that have been added on at the end here, and the ref's going to give a free kick here. It's a foul by Conway, and he's brought down Baterina. The one thing Scotland will have to be careful about now is the referee will know, because of the protests, that this is at best soft, at worst a dreadful decision by him, and there could be a situation where a Scotland player puts himself on the line and the referee decides to try and even it up. Yeah, he'll start to feel the pressure, absolutely. As the game goes on, the Croatian players are going to be relentlessly in his ear, demanding that he shows a card for every challenge now that Scotland make, because the There's a free kick for Croatia. Into the box it comes and is bundled behind by Hanley. It might have come off the Croatian last. It has. It's a goal kick. And now, Chaleta Tsar is having a go at the ref for not giving them the corner. It is a goal kick, and Gordon takes quickly. And we're just about at half-time here. The final few seconds. Is there time for one last attack for Scotland? No. McTominay bounding across the halfway line. Robertson to his right, Christie to his left. Out to Ryan Christie it goes, level with the 18-yard line. Chops onto his right side, under pressure now though from Modric. Christie taking it for a run out to the left flank, but the referee sounds the half-time whistle, and it is goalless at the National Stadium. And then Modric and Christie over there on the far side. It looked like there was going to be a flashpoint, but it's all calmed down. The Croatia will feel 100% aggrieved that they're not ahead and that they're down to 10. Somehow Scotland have gotten away with it. They rode out the storm that's come their way for large swathes of this first half. They've given the ball away on countless occasions, and just about every single one of the players out there, whether it's the goalkeeper or the outfield ones, have been guilty at some point of a loose ball at least once. So Steve Clarke knows it hasn't been a good performance, and Steve Clarke knows his team has potentially got out of jail there. He also knows that when they come out for the second half, they're going to be 11 against 10 and have things swung their way. We shall see. The Croatian staff, Dalic is out there having a go at the referee, who is refusing to go near the Croatia coach, who is making his feelings perfectly clear. Craig Gordon has made a couple of saves, in particular that one which he beat away from Luka Sucic. Kramaric has been in. Luka Sucic hits one over the bar. Kramaric was in again with a couple of efforts. McTominay saw a shot saved up the other end after a very difficult opening to proceedings, but the referee is still being barked at by Croatian coaching staff, and one of them's just received a yellow card as well down there. And it's it's going to go one of two ways for Croatia now. The sense of grievance might drive them on in the second half, but Scotland have a man more, so they have to try and make that count. They have to try and find a 2-goal victory tonight. The fact that they're going to be up against 10 men has given them an almighty chance perhaps of doing just that. We'll find out in the second half here at Hampden, because at the interval it is Scotland 0, 10-man Croatia 0.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
It's absolutely brilliant from Scotland.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
In Nations League Group A here at Hampden Park, Scotland 0, Croatia 0, chance after chance for the away side in the opening 20 minutes or so. Really sloppy from Steve Clarke's players, individual errors, a couple of occasions Craig Gordon bailed them out, but it was really touch and go. You felt at any point Croatia would go in front, but Scotland held out. They had a good chance themselves. It was McTominay with a shot, the keeper turned around the post. That was set up by blistering pace from Ben Doak down the right hand side, but the real drama coming in the 43rd minute. A second yellow card for Peter Sucic. He was sent off. Real protest from the Croatian players and management team, but to no avail, of course. He was given his marching orders. Scotland had a couple of half chances after that as we approach the break. Interesting now to see what Steve Clarke does in that break. Will he make changes? Let's hear from Craig Levein and from Tom English. Tom, at the start, we were talking before the game kicked off tonight about how improved the performances have been in the Nations League despite the results, given how poor we were in Germany. In that opening 20 minutes tonight, it was really, really sloppy.
Yeah, it was terrible, but it was actually a brilliant half for Scotland. Absolutely sensational. It's 0-0. Croatia are down to 10 men, and Scotland have been rubbish, but they're hanging in there. And now you look at it. What is
up with you tonight?
Something has changed.
No, but you look at it. They have been totally outplayed. They've given the ball away countless times.
Yeah, you're now talking sense.
Yeah. Okay, well, bear with me. Croatia have had 2 or 3 outstanding opportunities to score. They haven't taken them. Scotland have not been punished for their hapless play, and they're now one man ahead, one man advantage going into the second half. It's brilliant.
Are you with him, Craig?
Yeah, you've got to be, haven't you? I mean, that's what happened.
apart from Scotland's play, what's not to like about that?
I mean, we talked about the performances in recent games being, and maybe the luck not falling our way. Well, we've got that luck back tonight. I tell you what. I mean, the amount of times that Croatia dithered round about the penalty box instead of just shifting the ball and shooting, the amount of opportunities they've had, you know, and the mistakes. As I said, you counted 11.
It's amazing. It's almost like infectious, isn't it? Mistake and different players doing it.
Yeah, and it went.
Everybody doing it.
Yeah, and then I mean, Craig Gordon's not the best user of a ball at his feet. I mean, he's probably one of the old-fashioned goalkeepers. And I think, you know, he's made a couple of great saves, but I think in the situations where the defenders keep playing the ball back to him, you know, when they're not under severe pressure, I think they should be looking for other passes, because they know he's not going to clear the ball like 30 yards into the opponent's half. He's lucky to get to the halfway line.
I mean, Leanne made that point. It's almost like clipping it, wasn't it? He wasn't.
But that's what he does. I mean, he hasn't ever really been a very, very true striker of the ball, you know. So all he does is just tries to play the percentages, you know. And a big pitch like this, what happens is maybe a Tynecastle, the ball lands in the opponent's half, but here it's not even making the edge of the centre circle. So, but that's just, he's not going to change now at his age. So the defenders have got to realise that if the ball has to go forward, they can do it. They're 20 or 30 yards ahead of him. So, but he's made some good saves, and honestly, Tom's right. This has been an unbelievable scenario for us.
No, the
game should be over.
It's a bit like Tom's column. It takes you halfway through before you understand what he's saying.
Did you read that, Willie? Seriously?
Intelligent people get it a lot earlier than that, Willie.
Were you guys surprised that Steve Clarke didn't change? Is there anything he could have done to affect change early in the game, or is it difficult when it's individual players making these mistakes?
I don't know how many substitutes you could have made in the first. Like, I mean, everybody it was like a virus. It just spread from one player to the next, and everybody was making mistakes, and we got away with it. It's unbelievable.
The one ray of light was Ben Doak. When he got the ball, you felt it didn't get to an awful lot, but that burst of pace to set up the McTominay chance, for example.
I mean, I get frustrated because they just need to give him the ball. Another thing, at times, I don't think that he should be passing the ball in an attacking situation to Ralston. I think that he's a much better deliverer of the ball from a wide area than Ralston is. So I think he should be brave, go and take the man on, put the ball in the box, and next time it comes back, you do the same again, and then do the same again. If he gets a 2v1 situation, then he maybe needs to come back out to Ralston to keep the ball. But I'd rather see us get the ball to him more often than him actually just go and take people on, because he's brilliant at it.
It's been tough for Tommy Conway. He gets his start tonight. He's had nothing, has he?
Kenny, he's not got the physicality at this moment in time to be able to deal with their two centre backs. They're quicker than him, they're stronger than him, you know. And so I don't know how I mean, for me, his best chance of scoring is maybe ball bobbling about the box, and his natural instincts take him into the right area to finish. But when he's playing against these guys 10 yards into the opponent's half, they're too big, they're too quick.
So what does Steve Clarke, Leanne, look at now when he's thinking of this second half? Up against 10 men, does he change personnel? Does he change shape?
Look, he might go in there just now in the fact that you've had that stroke of luck just towards the end of the first half with the sending off, that you give the players that have had the privilege of starting the game 10 minutes or so to go and fix it, to go and actually show signs that you can make a difference tonight, that you can move the ball at the level that we've seen them do, that you can keep it, you can retain it, you can create opportunities, that you can hit the wide areas, that you can go and beat your opponent in a 1v1 situation, and that you can actually give Tommy Conway something to go and attack inside the penalty area, because this far tonight they've done absolutely none of it. It's been so poor. And Ben Doak, I mean, I wouldn't even give him pass marks, Kenny, if I'm being honest. He's in the team. No, because he's in the team because he's electrifying with his pace, because he's direct, and I know he's a young player, but he's had a number of opportunities tonight to really go and get at his defender, and he's not done it for me. He's turned back more often than not. He's looking to play just a safe pass back into the middle of the pitch, and when we've done that, we've not even then hit the left hand side and allowed Andy Robertson to go and do the same. I don't know what Tommy Conway's supposed to do tonight, because as the guys have mentioned, he's working hard in terms of his defensive work out of possession. possession, looking to try and back press. Then the ball's come long, he's inside the centre circle, he's isolated against two centre backs, physically much bigger than him. He's a goal scorer by all accounts, and he's got a bit of pace. So going to go and play to his strength and stop just firing balls.
Yeah,
70 foot up in there and asking him to deal with it, because it's not playing to his strength. So look, for me, Steve Clarke will be kind if he doesn't make any half-time changes tonight, because you can make three easily, comfortably, and as I said in commentary, go and change the shape and everything, and he might
Leanne,
look to do that.
Do we put another striker on?
Quite possibly.
Put Shankland on?
Quite possibly. John McGinn, you could effectively have him playing up and playing off the striker, which he's done before, isn't he? So if we're going to see a change, John McGinn is ultimately going to be the first one, I would imagine. It's what the fans will want, and I think once you get the fans with you, there's been a couple of moments in that first half that have set them alight. Ben Doak, maybe one moment that gave them that, with a run of 3 corners straight off the back. The noise levels were there. John McGinn coming onto the field tonight will give you that, and it might just then turn it for the Croatian players as well, that they sense that they're going to be in a dogfight and they're going to really need to work hard, hopefully in the second half, to even leave Hampden with a point tonight.
They need to take better care of the ball. I mean, Croatia are going to be as dangerous with 10 as they were with 11 if Scotland keep giving the ball away cheaply in bad positions, because they're good enough. Croatia are good enough to win this game with 10 men. There's no doubt about that. Conway's had 7 touches of the ball, and I feel for him because he is working hard, but it's just nothing is sticking up there for him.
And I think the 7 touches, Tom, where one came off his head, one off his shoulder, his chest, and his thigh, and the way down in the same moment.
Yeah, they were tough touches, most of them. They were under pressure. And nobody really has played well for Scotland.
Do you think we'll look nervous tonight?
Yeah, I think they looked a bit tense. They looked a bit jumpy in possession, and some of the passes that have gone astray have been under pressure. A lot of them haven't been. There hasn't been a huge amount of pressure on some of the balls that have gone astray, and they're blessed. They're blessed it's 0-0, and doubly blessed that they've got a man advantage. That's why I'm saying. That's why I am Mr. Happy Clappy here, because this is fantastic outcome for Scotland after that 45 minutes.
Kenny, what's really interesting in this half, I think the referee might find out at half time that he's made a mistake, and he might try and even things up. So I think the discipline of the Scottish players in this second half has got to be 10 out of 10. It's got to be 10 out of 10. Fully focused. Don't give the referee any chance to put you in the book.
Do you think it was a clear mistake? There was no doubt about that.
I thought it was a mistake. That's what.
Can you understand why? Did it look as if he came down his leg?
Well, I think what's happened is I think John just put the brakes on, didn't he? And then the guys bundled into the back of him, and it looked worse than it actually. Actually was. If it was me that had done that, and John instantly, I thought he was quite clever and tried to instigate the contact, And if it was me, I'd be furious if I got sent off for that.
Modric is on a yellow now as well. He got booked in that stramash.
They've got 4. Did they get 4 booked in the first half?
I think they got 3. I think 3. Kaleta Sarr, I think he was booked. I'm not sure Kramaric was booked. Was he? Maybe he was. But certainly Modric was booked. One of the coaches was booked. Pretty intimidating behaviour from him, waiting for the referee, staring him out. They've lost their discipline entirely. I have to say, I don't think it was a red card at all. But just before that, Kaleta Sarr has gone in on Christie elbow first.
That could have been a red card.
And that could have been. I think football needs to wisen up to this kind of stuff. An elbow to the head, or a forearm to the head, I think should be a red card. But it wasn't. It was a yellow. And I think he was a bit lucky there.
Well, we're looking for Scotland to be a whole lot better in this second 45. They're up against 10 men here at the National Stadium this evening. All the coverage to come right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Join us for another big night of BBC Children in Need.
Have we got a show for you?
With a Doctor Who exclusive.
We are going to rock through time.
Gladiator stars like you've never seen them before. The global superstar Bluey taken to the stage for a very special Strictly. Children going head-to-head with celebs on Graham Norton's Red Chair.
It's a bit of an ego crusher.
And so much more. Children in Need, tonight at 7 on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Stay tuned. Around about 10 o'clock this evening, we'll hand over to Off the Ball. And within that, you'll hear live from the Scotland manager Steve Clarke reacting to this game here at the National Stadium this evening in Group A of the Nations League. Scotland 0, Croatia 0. We're just waiting for the players to come back out here. It's a fairly bleak night at the National Stadium, but the Scotland fans are in good voice here, and surely they're expecting to see a much improved performance in the second half. Leanne, I think it's important, and you touched on it along with Willie in commentary, at times it's been almost a privilege to watch Luka Modric, hasn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a fantastic footballer. He's brilliant, even at the end of the half. I mean, he's a class act throughout the game. His movement, his intensity when he presses. I've heard people suggest that they've never really seen him sprint or move that quickly in the pitch because he's so good, but actually he reads the game so well. He's always in a position that he's able to press at 5-10 yards. He's a joy as a midfielder. Watching him, he makes the game look so easy, but I just love the class in the way that he carries himself. And at the end of the half, you could have been so frustrated and get after the referee. He finds himself over in the corner as the half-time whistle went. He has a wee laugh with Ryan Christie, picks the ball up and just wanders himself back into the changing rooms, and no doubt he's a leader in there as well. But to watch him here at Hampden Park tonight, yes, an absolute privilege.
The only person who was upset Luka Modric's karma was the referee when he sent off Sukic, and Modric went ballistic.
Yeah.
No Scottish player has bothered him unduly. This is beautiful outside of the right boot passes.
It's the way to pass, isn't it? It's just everything's perfect.
He's always got space. He's always got accuracy. He's brilliant.
Well, the teams are back out. Let's see what the Scotland performance looks like in the second half. It's got to be a whole lot better. Scotland against Croatia in the Nations League with Leanne Crichton, Craig O'Dean, Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
Well, Scotland are going to make a change right at the start of the second half, and Scott McKenna looks like he's going to come on to replace Grant Hanley right at the start of the second half. The Croatia players were out first, and no alterations from Zlatko Dalic. He sent the same 10 out that finished the first, and all of those started the match as Scott McKenna comes on for his 40th cap for his country, playing in La Liga with Las Palmas on Gran Canaria these days. And he comes on to replace Hanley. Not sure if there was a problem with Hanley, but we shall see how that change manifests itself out there. I was chatting there very briefly with Mark Rochon, who's one of the Croatian analysts who also works for Aberdeen. He's full-time at the club, but he's been working for Zlatko Dalic for years. He was part of the setup when they got to the World Cup final. It'll come as no surprise that none of them agree with the second yellow card shown to Peter Sucic. I think we got that impression from those who were involved on the pitch and in the technical area beforehand. Anyway, Scotland are going to kick off a monumental second half here. Can they take advantage of their fortune? Been hard done by in the past, Scotland, as Conway takes centre and rolls it back to McTominay and out to the right. Scotland in the navy blue and yellow going right to left towards the west stand. McTominay looking to flick it through towards Conway, picked up by Chaleta Tsar, who clears. So it's Gordon in goal, Ralston, Suter, McKenna, Robertson, Gilmer, McLean, Doak, McTominay, Christie and Conway. See how Croatia try and plug the gap thanks to the red card. Here's Christie on this near side. Remember, Scotland, if they want to finish top two in this group, they have to start by winning by 2 goals tonight.
Nice.
Lovely dummy, McTominay. Doak has it wide in the right, looks up at the box, gets the cross in, headed behind for the corner by Chaleta Tsar. Positive start to the second half in the opening minute here by Scotland. Corner.
Much better, exactly what we're after. Combination play, playing through the third, ball out to the right hand side, bend Doak, take on your player, look to cross the ball. Croatia defend it well, but a big chance now for Scotland to put the ball into the box. There's player advantage as well.
It was goalless at the interval in the other game in the group as the corner is swung into the 6-yard area. It's won by McTominay, but he heads it well wide. Back flick towards goal, past the left-hand post. And it's a Croatia goal kick. Willie, how do you attack this game now that you've got the numerical advantage that you need to win to try and maintain hopes in this group? and also looking ahead to those World Cup qualifiers?
Well, I think the attitude's got to be right from the start. You've got to take the game to the opposition. You've also got to think they've got one or two not too bad players out there as well, so don't leave yourself exposed. But you have got to try and take it to Croatia, haven't you? You've got to have energy, you've got to keep it simple. Your passing has got to be much better. But surely they've got a lift. They've got a lift from that order off. They go in at half time. They have the team talk. They should be coming out, I think, playing it a little bit more simpler, a little bit more straightforward, getting the ball forward earlier. Because, you know, with Croatia down to 10 men, you've got to keep trying them. It might take until the 89th minute or longer before you can get that breakthrough, but you've got to try to wear them down.
Andy Robertson is rolling it infield to Gilmour, squares it to Ralston, right of the centre circle. It's a long ball looking for Doak in behind Gvardiol. Doak chasing, he's got onto it, he's level with the penalty spot, taking on Gvardiol, little slip, rolls it back to Gilmour. He's flicked for McLean, wasn't anticipated, and Croatia pinch it back with Šutalo. And now it's with Sucic, whose cousin was sent off towards the end of that first half. One back by Conway though, rolls it out to the left for Robertson, and then back to Gilmour. Can Scotland end this run without a victory? 1 in 16 it is. Sticks out like a sore thumb. And Gilmour turns it out to Robertson on the left, and then infield to Gilmour again. Croatia in their red and white down to defend this. Robertson in behind, into the box to the byline, pulls it across. It's cut out by Šutalo, and then breaks back out to the left hand side of the area. Christie with a header to Robertson, heads it back to Gilmour, keeps it in play, and then calmly rolls it back to McKenna. Missed the camp last month through injury. Here's McTominay, and then he in turn rolls it to the edge of the centre circle for Suter. Suter out to Doak on the far side, to Ralston, then back to Ben Doak. Both, of course, were teammates at Celtic. And as Ralston fires it back into the centre circle for McKenna, and out to Christie on this near side. Infield to Robertson. Here's Christie again, looking to slip it towards Conway. Easily read by Šutalo though, and he's able to dig it out down this touchline. As McKenna's cushion header finds Christie. It's been a promising start to the second half by Scotland. It's 4 minutes old, it remains 0-0. Scotland up against the 10 men. It's Suter, forward to McTominay on the far side. All over him is Baturina. Down goes McTominay, no foul. Croatia throw in only over on the north stand side.
You would expect Scotland to have the majority of the ball. It's what they do with it. You know, and perhaps how well Croatia defend it. Looks as though they're just going with a 4-4-1. And try to frustrate at this moment in time. But I think I would be very wary of committing too many men forward. Yeah, you want to commit as many as you possibly can, but you want to also keep that back door closed in case of early counters.
Croatia have it though, as Willie says. They've got some fine players on show, and that's rolled out to one of them in Kramaric, left hand side of the Scotland box, attacking it now. He's into the area, looks up at the goal, drops the shoulder, pulls it back to the edge of the area for Baturina, looking for space to shoot. He turns it back to Modric, who fires it with the right foot well wide of the left hand post. Flag's gone up anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. It stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0. But there's a little warning of the class that remains out there, even if they are down in numbers.
I think that's a threat, isn't it? You just throw too many men forward. You leave yourself open. I think you've got to make sure you've got enough players forward to take advantage of the fact that they're down to 10 men. But at the same time, you've got to make sure that you're concentrating, that at the back you don't leave huge gaps that can be exploited. And that was a point of case there, that it was left very open down Scotland's right hand side.
Scotland winless in each of their last 10 competitive matches. They've drawn 4 of them, lost 6. It's the longest such streak in their history. And the draw against Portugal last month at least ensured they didn't lose 5 successive games for the first time. Defeat in Zagreb meant it was 4 defeats on the spin. McKenna's ball forwards cut out. They're defending deep inside their own half here through Šutalo, and he sees it behind for the goal kick. It is 0-0 in 51. I think it's important as well, Leanne, for Scotland, if the goal doesn't come early in the second half, and it's 6 minutes old just now, is not to kind of push the boat out, if you like, because there's still plenty of this match left.
No, that's it. In occasions like this, when you end up with the player advantage, you can play the game like it's 85 minutes as opposed to playing like you've got 40 odd minutes to make the difference. So Scotland need to just kind of grin and bear it just now, try and work the ball, use the player advantage that they've got. But I dare say we might see a couple of changes very shortly, and it's not to discredit Tommy Conway in any way at all, but Scotland need a focal point up top, and they don't have that in him tonight. Whether it's down to his performance or the players just not understanding his strengths just now and how to get him on the ball.
Here come Croatia down that left hand side. Kramaric rolling it back the way to Gvardiol. It's a big switch of play, right hand side of the Scotland box, looking for Jakic, but it sails past him and out for a throw-in down by the corner flag, deep inside Scottish territory. And Andy Robertson getting onto it just now. Big chance for Steve Clarke to end this run this evening now. Real gift given to them just before the break. Robertson with a throw-in down the left-hand touchlines. 1-0 by Jakic, heads it towards the Scotland box, away by McLean. Jakic heads it in field, but only to Christie's. Ball towards Conway is cut out by Chaleta Tsar, and out for a throw-in to the hosts midway inside their own half on this near side.
Well, I think you play the long game, and by that I don't mean that you hit the ball the full length of the pitch. I'm talking about time. You know, you've got to keep probing, you've got to keep believing, you've got to try and wear them down. You know, there will be spaces out there to be exposed, and if you get one of them, then but with passes like that, I'm afraid, Anthony Ralston giving the ball away, you've got to be...
Oh, it's Croatia giving it away as well. It's Kovacic. Here comes Scotland. It's going to be threaded through to Doak. He's got a chance here. He's in right hand side of the box. Tried to pull it back across towards Conway. It's cut down behind for the corner. There was definitely an argument there for Ben Doak to go it alone.
Absolutely. I mean, he sees the run of Conway. I can understand why he tries to reward him with the ball across the box, but even if he looks for it, I think he's still got another couple of touches in him and he could still find it, and at that point you then have your decision whether you can take the shot on yourself or you then find the teammate inside the penalty area. But it's better from Scotland, much better with those balls in behind.
In swinging corner from Ryan Christie over on that far side in the northwest corner. Scotland attacking the goal to our left, and it comes towards the back end of the 6-yard box. McKenna is beaten to it. Modric flicks away and the referee blows the whistle, and Croatia have a free kick at the edge of their own box. It is 0-0 on 54.
Yeah, I think Scotland have started reasonably well. You know, I think there are pockets of space there to be taken advantage of. I think Doak should have taken the first touch forward rather than and the second touch forward rather than you know, dispatching the crossfield pass, which was cut out. And again, you know, just got to be wary at the back. Make sure you're concentrating all the time. It is really important that you do that against a team like this.
Kramaric finds Batterine up the other end though. Kramaric did well against Ralston. It's now with the feet of Modric. Rolls it to the left. Kramaric back the way to Gvardiol. And then Modric up against McTominay. Goes back the way, gets it back from Kovacic. Modric down that left hand side. Couple of give and goes. It's now with Kramaric again, level with the penalty spot, level with the 6-yard line, up against Ralston. He wins the corner. Croatia still come forward with menace, even if they are a man down. And there's going to be a corner here for Scotland to face.
Well, they've still got quality. They've got quality in the ball, and if, you know, Scotland players aren't close to them, trying to win it back early and giving them time, then, you know, they're going to pass it round about them and they're going to create opportunities. Kramaric then was looking for someone in the box, didn't have it though.
Sucic, it's a low corner in the box. They'll be regretting that now. He's giving it straight to Robertson, who's on his bike. Doak to the right hand side if he can find them. Robertson clips it over the defender, over Modric's head, but he can't find Doak, and it sails in front of him and out for a throw in. Steve Clarke's having a long lingering look at his substitutes who are warming up down below us. I think something may well be imminent here to try and give Scotland the sort of control that Steve Clarke will be hoping for, given it's 11 against 10.
I mean, Andy Robertson does hell of a well, you know, just busting forward.
Why does he lift it?
I don't know. You know,
just pass it
it's in between the two Croatian players, in between them, and that's in behind as well for Doak to run onto.
Gilmour to Robertson, now on his more comfortable left side, rolls it out to Christie. Christie steps away from Jakic, gets it forward to McTominay, left hand side of the Croatia box. forced back out the way on this near side. Passes it back to Gilmore, looks up at the box, bends it in towards the back post, looking for Doak, who pulls it back. McLean trying to keep it alive with a slide back to Ralston, whose shot's blocked. Still alive with Robertson, but Modric takes it away from him. And Croatia are able to come away with it as well. It stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0 on 56.5. There's a goal in it for Scotland. The way they're playing, the way they're getting into these positions in the left and right wings, there's a chance here for Scotland to get their noses in front at some point, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's the moments, it's almost the counter-attacking moments actually are looking a hell of a lot better for Scotland, and they're attacking in numbers now. You look at that chance that fell to Tony Ralston, he catches it really well, but there's at least 7 bodies ahead of him, 6 inside the penalty area and 1 just in the edge. If you keep producing that, if you keep probing, you keep asking questions, at some point that Croatian wall will break down.
The Scotland subs who are warming up: Devlin, Dykes, Gold, McGinn, Shankland. It is Shutalo going back to his goalkeeper. Katarski plays it short to this near side. It's a dreadful ball by Shutalo, straight to Gilmore. Oh my goodness, he could have played in Doak. He's fired it high over the bar. Ben Doak was in acres of space, right hand side of the box, in behind Vardiol. That is a massive opportunity missed from Billy Gilmore.
It's the worst bit of decision making that I think I've ever seen from Billy Gilmore, if I'm honest. Normally he's so good, and he doesn't look to shoot that often. He would much rather pass. On every occasion I watch him, he wants to make an extra pass. At times when you're telling him to take the shot on, Ben Doak was in acres of space, bearing down on the goalkeeper. He just needed to slip the ball to the right hand side, and I'm convinced that it would have been the opening goal for Scotland.
A huge opportunity missed there, Willie.
Oh, without doubt, and it just takes a bit of calmness, doesn't it? And Gilmore's usually so calm, isn't he? He's always got the head up. He takes that first touch, he's looking for a pass. He just sees the glory there, doesn't he? He sees that ball hitting that top corner and he goes for it, and it's just an awful attempt for them. It's not even close to the target, but Doak was definitely the pass. Just a little touch and a little pass in front of Doak, and he's right in on top of goal.
His 2 senior goals have both come in Scotland colours, against France and against Poland in the opening game in this group. McKenna plays it to the right of the centre circle for Suter. Played together so regularly for the under-21 side, getting a chance to partner up in the senior team as Ralston picks up over on the far side, turns and rolls it back to Suter. It's been a dominant performance so far in the second half by Scotland, without the yielding of a goal yet, as Christie goes back to McKenna, gives him it back, and then straight back to McKenna from Christie. Here's Gilmore and Christie under pressure from Sucic. Goes back into the centre circle where he rolls it to Suter. Kramaric trying to close him down. Suter strides away from him, rolls it forward to McTominay. Doak is on the right flank. It's still McTominay. Now he gives it to Doak up against Baterina. The 2 young talents roll back to Christie. Christie gets away from Modric, back out to McTominay, right angle of the Croatia box. McTominay, it's a low ball across, which is easily cut out by Chaleta Tsar. I mean, it doesn't matter where they are on the pitch tonight, the Scotland decision making is questionable.
Yeah, but it's not great. I mean, I can understand what McTominay was trying to do there. He allowed Doak to go down the right hand side as a decoy run, and he just looked to then feint and deliver low and hard, looking for Tommy Conway, who was inside the 6 yard, but it was cut out with ease, you would need to say, from the Croatian defenders.
John McGinn's going to be on for the final half hour shortly. It's Croatia on the ball, 0-0. Here's Sucic, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Scotland half. Croatia will still believe they can win this game, despite the fact that they are down in numbers. Comes back to Shutalo, who squares it to Chaleta Tsar. Then back to Shutalo again. Tomini pressuring him, and then it's turned back to Chaleta Tsar of Lyon to Shutalo. I think Lyndon Dykes is being stripped as well. It's going to be 2 changes anyway. I think it's just the 2 at the moment. Croatia are going to bring the veteran Ivan Perisic on in a minute as well, as they ping the ball out wide left. It's Gvardiol infield. Baterina rolls it to Sucic at the edge of the box. Back it comes to Kramaric, left hand side of the Scotland box. There might be an opportunity here. It's deflected and it whips wide and behind for the corner. There was an opportunity there, and then a couple over on the left. Kramaric was involved, so too Baterina. But it will be another Croatia corner. They forced a few of those despite being down to 10 in the second half.
But they work the ball so well, Liam, don't they? You know, right from their own box really to the Scotland box, and in control all the time, and you know, looking so calm about it. Defending, obviously, making sure that they're trying to frustrate Scotland, run the clock down as well. But when they get the ball, they move it particularly well going forward.
Ryan Gould's coming on as well, but here comes the corner, which is headed away by McLean. The double change for Croatia. Doak has it, but he's lost it, and it's picked up by Sucic on this near side. Back to the midway point of the Scotland half for Modric. He goes back to Kovacic. Kovacic under no pressure. Turns it left of the centre circle for Baterina. This has been the longest Croatia have been on the ball in possession since the restart. Played out to Kramaric on the far side, and back to Kovacic. Back left of the centre circle for Chaleta-Tsar, and he plays it first time with the left to the right of the circle for Modric, and out to Jakic on this near side. Right foot ball back to Modric. I'm going to see Ivan Perisic, Mario Pasalic on shortly. Perisic now at PSV Eindhoven in the Eredivisie with Pasalic at Atalanta in Italy. Saw him start the game against Scotland last month. He started for his club against Celtic in the Champions League as well. And he comes back here to Kotarski, the goalkeeper. Long ball forward, won there by Suter, but his header was straight to Gvardiol over on that far side. Loose from John Suter. Now with Baterina stepping in field. Might he be one of the players to come off. It's now back with Modric in the centre circle. You can be pretty much assured it won't be Modric coming off. Out to Kovacic, to Gvardiol, the club mates. Then Modric again. And he rolls it all the way back to Chaleta-Tsar. Croatia just taking the sting right out of this game just in the last few minutes.
No, that's what they should be doing. You know, they're working the ball extremely well, keeping possession, frustrating Scotland. Scotland uncertain whether they should press or whether they should sit back. I think that it's more of a press that's required, isn't it? You know, if the back four can squeeze the midfield up and, you know, get the three up top to actually put more pressure on the ball.
And it's Sucic driving down the left-hand side. Doak trying to get back at him, but it's now going to break the way of Gvardiol. He's at the left angle of the Scotland box. Rolling it back the way to Sucic. Right to that left-hand side it comes again. Baterina back to Kovacic. Scotland can't get a feel of the ball all of a sudden. Here is Modric. 10 men dictating play right now. Wide left, a chance here for Croatia. It's rolled into the box for Gvardiol, and his effort is cut out there by Suter, and behind for another Croatia corner. It is 0-0 on 64.
That's brilliant play from Croatia, taking the sting out of the game, using the ball, making Scotland work. But I'm interested to see the changes that are just about to be rung, the three players that are coming on for Scotland, because that right hand side for me is a concern. Ralston and Doak is a combination defensively, Willie.
But Tony Ralston there as well. You know, the threat actually is out wide, but he's come away in. Scotland's got loads of dark blue jerseys in the middle. It's the wide area that was the problem. He's got to get his head up, he's got to look around, he's got to identify that he can't leave that kind of a space to be exposed. Okay, it's only a corner, but it could have been a lot worse. That could have flashed across the face of the goal. Yeah,
very reactive, really slow.
The Croatia changes. Sucic coming off, Kramaric coming off. On comes Pasalic. Perisic is on as well. You just wait to see what will happen with the Scotland changes, but they won't be made before this Croatia corner over on that left-hand side. The northeast corner. Croatia attack the Tory Glen end. Modric takes it short. And he gets it back immediately at the left angle of the box. Kovacic with a little back heel, and that will go behind for the goal kick. Scotland will start to try and build their way back into it again. It's 0-0 and 65 and a half. And they're going to wait for the next break in play after this is taken. Craig Gordon, I think Steve Clarke wanted to make them. Gordon perhaps took the goal kick too quickly there. So Scotland play on with the 11 that are out there. Here is Billy Gilmore just leaving it to Ralston. I guess Steve Clarke's going to hope that these fresh legs have the desired effect, because they look like they need an injection of energy. And there's another poor ball. It's McKenna, and it's out for a throw-in on this near side. And here come the changes. Christie will be replaced by Ryan Gould. It will be McGinn for McLean, and presumably Dykes for Conway. And those are the changes made by Steve Clarke. John McGinn, who missed the camp, a rare miss for him last month, comes on for his 72nd cap. Lyndon Dykes hasn't scored since Oslo. As important a goal as it was. Oh, come on. The Scotland striker, and that is a focal point for the team. It's his 41st cap. And Ryan Gauld comes on as well, still in the infancy of his senior international career, really. So the change is made, Willie. Scotland will hope that this will have, as I say, the desired effect between now and full time, because we're heading towards the final quarter of this game. It's 0-0.
It was probably required, wasn't it? I think the energy and perhaps a little bit of the belief. But I think it's more about the energy in the organisation and closing the gaps and actually putting a bit of pressure on the ball. The press hasn't really worked in the second half, and you know they're down to 10 men. It's got to be done in tandem. You know, you've got to actually do it as a team. And that hasn't happened, so I think the changes are required.
First touch by McGinn, finds Robertson in the left-hand side. Gauld bends the ball, it is a brilliant ball, but it's over the bar from Doak at the back post. Well, that was the chance there for Doak. It's a fabulous ball, and John McGinn involved immediately there. Rafael Leao, incidentally, has put Portugal 1-0 up against Poland. Portugal 1, Poland 0 in Porto. That's good for Scotland. But it's only really going to have any kind of effect if they can win this match. That would put them level on points. If Poland lose that and Scotland win this, level on points going to Warsaw on Monday evening. They need a 2-goal victory to trouble Croatia in second, though. Over on the far side, it will be Baterina, and he's been fouled, and it's a free kick to Croatia. There's still over 20 minutes of this game to go. Scotland fans get a bit frustrated, a bit tetchy.
Yeah, look, I mean, John McGinn comes onto the pitch and they immediately spark into life with a sing-song, but you can feel the nervous energy in the stadium. It's going to take a goal to really get this place going and settle the nerves.
There's McTominay driving towards the edge of the box. Another ball forward cut out, though, this time by Shutalo. Croatia have it in the centre circle. Lovely little spin in turn by Baterina. Willie Miller enjoyed that. Here's Pasalic rolling it to the left. Croatia coming forward here, left hand side of the Scotland box. It's bent in, looking to get over the head of Robertson. They found Perisic. He snatches with the left foot and it goes wide of the right hand post and stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0. He was one of the goal scorers here at Hampden at Euro 2020. Was Ivan Perisic. And he's pulled that one past, and Scotland relieved, because that went over the head of Robertson. He sensed trouble.
He's got to judge the flight of that ball better, Andy Robertson, isn't he? I mean, he's got plenty of time. You know, he knows that Perisic is behind him. He's got to make sure that he gets contact on it. Maybe it just comes off the top of his head enough to put the striker off. It's a poor finish though again, isn't it? And a decent chance.
From Scotland down the right with Doak as they do some attacking. Up against Baterina, checks back the way and passes it to Suter. Square ball for Gilmour. Now McKenna. Only Craig Gordon in the Scotland half right now. Robertson finds Gauld. Then back to Robertson, who goes back to McKenna. Can Scotland find a way through? They've got 20 minutes plus stoppages to try and do so. Ralston out wide right for Doak against Baterina again. Level with the 18. Now he's taking him on. Gets to the byline. Ben Doak pulls it back. Finds Gilmour, who shoots over the bar again. Goal kick, 0-0, 70 played.
Anybody but Gilmour.
Shooting practice, isn't it, tomorrow?
Listen, it's brilliant from Ben Doak. Much better. That's what he should be doing every time he gets the ball. That's what Scotland need to keep doing if they're going to find a breakthrough. And, you know, Billy Gilmour, he's in the right area. He's getting so much time. I think he's got to do it way better. You'd think he would have thought he would have learnt his lesson with the first attempt. He's just trying to get too much on the ball. It's rising all the time. Listen, you can understand with these last two finishes why he's only got 2 senior goals, Willie. No harm. He's a top footballer. Yes, yeah. But scoring goals is not his strength. Definitely not.
A couple of great opportunities for him, not taken, disappointing. You know, but the chance has been created, so I think that's what you've got to hang on to. Still plenty of time left in this game.
Croatia have given it away straight to Ralston down that right hand side to Doak, infield to McTominay, back out to Ralston, and then he decides to go back to Suter. Suter squares it to Billy Gilmour, just outside the centre circle, square to McKenna. McKenna has it as the rain continues to swirl around Glasgow's south side. Robertson to McKenna. Midway inside Croatian territory, out to Robertson. Then back to McKenna. And Croatia just sitting back, everyone behind the ball. The game being played in front of them right now, and it's out to that right-hand side for Doak again. Doak back to Gilmore. It's hard work this. Suter picks up and finds Billy Gilmore just outside the centre circle. Here's McKenna. McKenna steps forward, rolls it out to Robertson. McGinn trying to make some space down the line, but Robertson has it and goes back to McKenna, and now Gilmore, and he squares it to Suter. Croatia have been playing with 10 men since the latter point of the first half. They're holding firm at the moment though. Katarski hasn't really been tested, but here's McGinn, left-hand side, winning the corner of Jutalo. Is this the moment then? Gilmore comes trotting out to take the corner.
They're actually doing well, Scotland,
yeah.
and you know, not getting sucked in, not just playing the ball forward with no real composure. They are moving it side to side. Okay, the fans are not enjoying it too much, but
I think they could just do that with a bit more pace, really, and really ask questions of Croatia.
Gilmore takes it short to Gold, level with the penalty spot, back to Billy Gilmore, dances into the box, pulls it back, and then it breaks Croatia's way, and Perisic has got it away. And now Scotland could be caught short at the back. Croatia flooding forward. It's Baterina. He's got options right and left. Perisic to the right, Pasalic to the left, but it's a sliding Gold who prevents it getting through to the former. Here's Robertson for Scotland. They've committed just about everyone forward there, save for the two who hung around the edge of the centre circle. Gold did well, because he was inside the Croatia box and he managed to make up the ground. This comes back to Suter, who squares it left of the centre circle for McKenna. Forward to McGinn. McGinn stepping forward, plays it through, but McTominay wasn't anticipating the pass. Too much on it perhaps for him anyway, and he goes behind for the goal kick and stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Let's get the thoughts now of the former Scotland manager Craig Levein, who's on a watching brief just now. How do you see this final? What are we now, Craig? 16-17 minutes of 90?
Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of control of the match in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, and I think the passing's been better. It's been a little bit quicker. Yeah, and I think we've just got to be patient. I mean, especially when we get in round about the penalty box. I mean, you'd expected Billy Gilmore to at least hit the target with those two efforts he's had, because of the composure that he's got. And I was just astonished that he didn't manage to get those efforts on target.
Yeah, and pass to Ben Doak as well. Here's Modric for Croatia, looking to feed it through. Chance arrives here, and it's just gone past from Pasalic. There was no flag either. Scotland dodge one. It was flipped through towards Pasalic. He was in behind momentarily. He got his foot to it and he's put it past across the face of goal.
He's got to score.
Stays 0-0.
He's got to score. You know, it's a gilt-edged chance for him. We're caught, you know, ball watching and square. He's drifted into a fantastic little pocket of space, and he's just got to, you know, Craig Gordon comes out, but if he just lifts it over Craig Gordon, he kind of, I don't know, with outside his foot, does he not open up his foot and just try to pass it over the top? Am I not seeing what a striker
right
should do here?
He's got to score. He just needs to keep it in target.
Yeah, just look at Modric.
Modric's magnificent. Is just
the ball from Modric is a joke. I mean, it's lovely, weighted perfectly. I don't know what Tony Ralston's doing defensively. It sets up lovely. As I say, just side foot, keep it in target. It's a goal. Again, it's a huge let-off for Scotland, for as much as Craig was touching on it there. They've controlled the game, certainly the last 10 minutes or so, much better in the way they've moved the ball. So vulnerable though in the counter-attack.
Offside there against Gold. He was definitely offside there. And we could all see that in the gantry. The fans round about us disagreeing, as you would imagine. Change there for the Croatians. They've taken off Baterina and put on Torino's Nikola Vlasic, who comes on for his 57th cap, another who's played at multiple major tournaments. He's been at 3 of them. Vlasic, teammate of Che Adams at club level. No Adams in the Scotland squad through injury, of course. Chaleta Tsar picks up and rolls it out to Gvardiol over on the far side. Now he steps across halfway. Doak trying to stick with him, and Doak's done brilliantly to pinch it back. Gvardiol has not enjoyed facing Ben Doak over these 2 matches. Scotland need 2 goals unanswered if pot 1's to become a reality for the World Cup qualifiers. It's slipping away by the second. And even then they would have to win on Monday and hope Croatia lose to Portugal, and they're at home to the Portuguese as well in split on Monday evening at the same time. Scotland are in Warsaw, so it's still a tall order, but even just get the win, put some pressure on the teams above them in the rankings. Czech Republic need 4 points to be uncatchable from their matches, as McGinn picks up. It's out with Robertson on this left-hand side. Now with McGinn, back to Robertson, whose pass in field is cut out by Perisic. It is 0-0. McGinn on the turn against Modric, and he uses his big backside to hold off Modric, and now it's Gold who stabs it into the box, but it comes right through to Katarski, and it will stay Scotland 0, Croatia 0. Portugal incidentally 2-0 up in Poland, a Ronaldo penalty. So the Portuguese doing their bit. Scotland frustratingly cannot find a way through 10-man Croatia. 77 on the clock, 0-0.
I mean, it's just lacking a real bit of cutting edge. The movement, John McGinn's come on, he looks really lively. He's trying to play in the shoulder at the last midfielder and stretching it onto the defensive line. And there's been a couple of occasions that I feel Andy Robertson can just receive it, open up, left foot down the line, and give John McGinn the opportunity to take the ball. I mean, what he always provides for me is an end product, whether that's a corner, a cross into the box, or he keeps it. We're just not finding him in the pockets of space that he's managing to get himself into. And that last one from Ryan Gauld, just forcing it, looking to try and just force the ball into the area, searching for Lyndon Dykes, and it straight into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Talking about the Czech Republic, if Scotland can win this, you'd be interested in them. They're away to Albania tomorrow in League B, and here's Ryan Gauld coming forward. He's won the ball back, having lost it. Here's McTominay, he's at the edge of the area, pokes it back out to Robertson. It's a terrible ball by Robertson. It's it straight over on the bar, onto the roof of the net. I mean, a player of his quality has got so much better than that.
It's got to be better. It's got to be better than that. You know, I don't know what he's actually thinking about doing there. You know, just get it on your left foot and just drill it across the face of the goal, and you know, anything can then happen. I mean, Goal did extremely well, too. You know, you just feel as McTominay picks it out, and he just leans back. But what is he trying to do? I'm trying to work out in my head. He leans back. It's onto his left foot. It almost goes over the near post.
Yeah.
When it should really be, you know, either curled or driven across the face of the goal.
Kusalic, and then Vlasic chasing. Here's the number 13 who was closest to getting onto that ball forward, straight through to Gordon, though. Bowls it quickly to Ralston, who fires it out to this near side. Gauld couldn't quite control, though. It was a very, very difficult one for him to deal with in his defence. And it was out for a Croatia throw-in, and down goes Jakic with cramp. And that'll go down like a lead balloon with the home fans. As you can hear, 11 to play, 0-0. Time is ticking.
It's a ball that Tony Ralston's tried to play. I mean, it's on. Ryan Gauld is on. There's just too much on it. Gould's completely outstretched with the left foot, trying to bring it down. No way he was going to get there. And it just kills the momentum in the game now. Jakic down, injured. Croatian players are indicating to the bench that he's going to need to come off. Whether that comes to fruition or not, only time will tell. But there's a franticness about Scotland just now in that final ball. They'll understand the need for a goal and what it means in terms of the group and their position within that. But I just feel they can work it a bit better, really, continually look to try and move it at tempo side to side and then get down the sides of them, and it allows the likes of McTominay to arrive, as he's done so well, and more often than not, edge of the box, penalty spot, work the goalkeeper.
I still don't think you have to force it. I know Liam was wanting 2 goals, but one goal would be a fabulous result for Scotland as well. You know, to turn some of the very good performances and no points, or 1 point, into an actual win here, you know, and get 3 points. And,
it would be huge.
It would just I think be a little bit more calmer. Don't force it too much. I understand what Ralston's thinking there, but you know, is that really on? I think you keep possession and you try to work it up the park the way Croatia do. Croatia get the ball, they work it up the park rather than going back to front when they get the opportunity, when Scotland aren't putting them under pressure, that is. And I think Scotland's got to do the same thing, and you just feel that you know an opening will come, the chance will come, and you've just got to take it. We've had chances. Billy Gilmore's had 2 great chances, 2 great opportunities.
This hasn't fallen. Bruno Fernandes has incidentally made it 3-0 to Portugal. Jakic is on a stretcher now. So he's going to come off. It looks as though Dinamo Zagreb's Marco Piazza is going to come on. He's a striker, so there's going to be a bit of a rejig there. Piazza's got 6 goals in 15 appearances this season. He's from the capital. He was on the bench for all 3 of their games at the European Championship finals in Germany. So Jakic is stretchered off. He's still getting no sympathy from the Scotland fans, despite the fact he's on a stretcher. And he is being helped off right now by the medical team here at Hampden. And on comes Piazza. And it will be a throw into Croatia here, level with the edge of the D of their own box. And that was going on. The seconds continue to tumble away from Steve Clarke. And it's gone out to play for a throw-in on this near side for the Croatians. Perisic is over it. It's Willie says, I mean, even it's 4-0 Portugal now, by the way. Fernandes has got another one. Portugal 4, Poland 0. Lewandowski-less Poland, of course. Down the right with Vlasic come Croatia, very deep inside Scottish territories. Low ball across straight to Gordon. Bowls it quickly to Gilmore. 82.5 on the clock. Plus the stoppages. Scotland have been unable to take advantage of the red card Croatia received just before half-time. A lot of endeavour out there, but a lot of huff and puff as well. The red card came on 44 minutes. Peter Sucic, harsh as it may have been, Croatia have withstood what Scotland have thrown at them, and to be perfectly honest with you, David Katarski in the Croatia goal hasn't really had a save to make, and that's the frustration for Steve Clarke. Still time though, and it's Doak up against Guardiola on the right, level with the penalty spot, and then pulls it back the way to Ralston, back to Suter. Suter looks up and squares it to McKenna, now with Gold. It's all too pedestrian though. They're just, Croatia have got those bank of 5 and bank of 4, and Scotland can't work a way through it. Ralston, a heavy touch from Ralston, then he panic wasted it out to Doak on the far side. Another terrible ball, and it stays Scotland 0, Croatia 0, and Croatia have a throw-in.
Under no pressure. No pressure.
And see when that starts creeping in as well, you know, at this stage of the game where there isn't the composure.
Well, Tom English goes on about it a lot in terms of the minutes and the players, and Grant Hanley being one of them. Tony Ralston is another, and Liam touched on it at the start of the game. The minutes he's played between the international windows is very, very minimal. And from this point in the game and earlier, probably for about 70 minutes, I think he struggles to get through the game physically.
That's brilliant play by Kovacic down the left, but the man over on the left-hand side there couldn't keep it in play, and it was out of play for a throw into Scotland.
I think mentally as well, you know, when you're not playing, it gets to this stage of the game and the big pitch, the big Hampden pitch too, and then you take the easy, or you think it's an easy option by just playing it out, and your concentration's not there. The physical side of it's not there as well as the mental side.
Here's Doak up against Guardiola again, attacking the Croatia box. He's away from him, he's inside the area. His effort saved by Katarski. Finally they test the keeper, and Croatia bundle it out for a throw-in. Vardiol's going to be having Ben Doak related nightmares if Scotland end up winning this game, maybe even without it, because he has terrorised them in both matches. It stays nothing each though. Here comes Scotland again. McGinn, it's another poor ball. Trying to win it back to Robertson. They have done so. It's now with Gilmore midway inside the Croatia half, left to centre, plays it forward to Gold, and now it's with McGinn. Back to McKenna. We're in the final 5 of 90, 0-0. Suter out wide right there for Doak, level with the penalty spot. Little step over against Guardiola, drops the shoulder, pulls it across. Katarski saved. McGinn shoots and scores! The main man is back. John McGinn scores. Thumped the ball towards goal. It took a touch in his way into the roof of the net, and might Scotland's long wait for a victory be coming to an end tonight. They've broken the deadlock in the final 5 minutes against Croatia. 2018 World Cup finalists and all. And McGinn sends Hampden into bedlam and ecstasy. It is Scotland 1, Croatia 0.
It's absolutely brilliant from Ben Doak. is what the performance that we wanted to see. Take your player on, 1v1s, get to the byline and deliver, and he puts the ball across. Not the best ball, but Katarski has to save it. He has to make contact in the ball, and you've got a cluster of bodies. John McGinn is just hovering right on the edge of the 18. He knows where the ball's going to drop. I'm just looking at the replay. I don't know if Lyndon Dykes is in an offside position, but the game's restarted. Who cares, Willie? Here we go.
Free kick for a foul there by Dykes and Modric. So Scotland have the lead. 3 of 90 left. Do you stick or twist, Willie? You just try and hold out and win the game now? Or do you look for the second goal?
I think you go for the second goal. I think if you have any ambition, you're at home. You don't obviously leave yourself exposed at the back, but you still want to try to get the second
Listen
goal.
to the fans, Willie. There's only one thing you can do.
Exactly. Get the ball to the goal. Hey, it doesn't have to be the best of crosses into the box. You know, it's one that they're asked to defend. It's one that the goalkeeper parries out, and then you pick up the loose ends from it, as John McGinn does. But a little bit nervousness there, because Lyndon Dykes was definitely in an offside position, not interfering, obviously. I think he was actually behind the goalkeeper.
John McGinn's 19th international goal. 5-0 Portugal, incidentally. Poland taking an absolute doing in Porto. Most of those goals have come late on. Croatia have a free kick, incidentally. Modric will take about midway inside the Scotland half, wide on the right. Into the box it comes. It's blocked by Robertson on the 18-yard line. Work back towards Modric. It looked as though it had been pinched back by Gilmore, and now's a chance for Robertson to play in. McTominay driving forward, trying to get in behind Kovacic. Kovacic reacts brilliantly. Really good defending there by the Manchester City man. And he goes out for a throw in to Croatia on the near side. Scotland 1, Croatia 0. We're in the final 2 of 90.
And I think the noise tells you what the fans are wanting to see out there. And they're getting it. OK, you've got to defend. But it's now Croatia that's leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back.
The game's going to open up now simply because of that. Croatia would have taken the point, I think, coming out of Scotland tonight, but they're going to look to try and get that level up. They're going to throw more bodies forward, and that's where Scotland will get their chance. There'll be another chance in this game, no doubt about it.
That goal takes John McGinn level with Ali McCoist in the all-time scoring charts. Only 4 have gone beyond 20. They'll hit 20 or more. McGinn's one away from that now. Croatia have a throw-in. Perisic has it. Croatia now, they're down to 10 men, they're 1-0 down. They know that a 1-0 win a 1-0 win seals top 2 for them tonight. Even if Scotland win this game 1-0, Croatia will be top 2. They won't be topping the group, but top 2's fine, and it's enough to get them into the Nations League quarter-finals. And they would be pot 1 anyway, given their ranking, but it will ensure that they will be in the top 2 with Portugal. Scotland, can they find another moment of magic before the end? I think Dykes is straight offside there. It's headed away by Chaleta Tsar anyway. And over on the far side it's Piazza, who loses out though. His ball forward, but Gilmore gives it straight to his old teammate Kovacic. Now Piazza has it back. And there's been late heartaches so often recently for Scotland. From Hungary onwards, it seems to be a repeated theme. And it is Modric for Croatia. Scotland are going to bring on Stuart Armstrong in a moment. He was a late addition to the squad. Modric has it right at the end of 90 minutes. We'll find out what the stoppage time is going to be shortly. It is Luka Modric. Rolls it out to this near side for Perisic. There's going to be 5 minutes added. We're into the first of them. Scotland trying to get this clear. They do so through Doak. This ball's going to be picked up by Kovacic over on the left-hand side. Low ball to the edge of the box. Piazza to Gvardiol, rolls it low into the area. Scotland have numbers. It's passed back to Kovacic. Gets the ball into the box. Behind Perisic though, and now Gordon, who rolls it to goal. You can see Scotland, they know they need another goal in less than 5 to try and threaten what would be a sensational second place finish. Still against the odds, still time. It's now back with Gordon, rolls it short to McKenna. McKenna then to McTominay, almost at the end of the first of 5. McTominay's got space to move into, rolls it through to Calder. I think would have been in an offside position anyway. And he comes right through to Katarski and stays Scotland 1, 10-man Croatia 0.
At least a yard offside there. Goal would have been, he's got to time his run much better, but good work from McTominay, picking the ball up, driving forward and looking for the forward pass. But the winger's got to be sapper in terms of timing his run.
It's gone out for a Scotland throw-in, sloppy from Croatia over on the far side. Stuart Armstrong's going to come on to replace Ben Doak, who I would imagine will get a standing ovation. Again, another electrifying performance. What a future this boy's got.
Well, with that pace, and it really is simple football. Take nothing away from him, but he just gets the head down, a little bit of body movement, some leg movement as well. But you know where he's going. He's going to the byline. But you can't do anything about it because he's that quick.
Well, we know where he's going in the second half. That first half, he was going back the way more often than not. But he's a joy to watch. He's fantastic. His footwork is excellent. The step overs 3 and 4 at a time and just sends the defender the wrong way. Do you say, well, he head down, byline, end product. He's only going to get better.
Croatia trying to clear their lines here. Modric with a calm, cushioned header back to his goalkeeper. It's Katarski. We played 2 of the 5 minutes. 1-0 Scotland. They will at least have the chance to fight for a place in League A in the next edition of the Nations League. Could potentially be, if they manage to beat Poland on Monday, into a relegation promotion playoff in March, which would almost certainly mean they'll be in a 4-team World Cup qualifying group. That will be all that's left to fight for. And potentially a place in pot 2. That largely depends on results elsewhere, though. As Croatia come forward down the left, the ball's bent in. Oh, it comes off Robertson, but it falls kindly for Gordon, who holds on. It looked as though there was more late heartache for the Scots there. It's in the gloves of Craig Gordon, and it stays 1-0 to the hosts.
I think we can bin the hard luck story, you know, that we don't get any luck. I think we've had you know, enough of it tonight, and that one in particular, I don't think Andy Robertson knew too much about it, and Craig Gordon didn't either. He was very fortunate that it just came straight to him as the cross came in from that left-hand side. Yes, indeed, just watching replays of it. Very fortunate.
Vardiol wins a throw-in on the far side and bowls it to Modric. Croatia looking for an equaliser here. It's going to be potentially a defeat for them. It's not going to matter really in the grand scheme of things, though, unless Scotland score again. But Croatia have the ball exactly where they want it, deep inside Scottish territory, down that left flank. Pass back to Modric, takes a touch, swings the ball into the box, headed away by Robertson. Gilmour completes the clearance. He's going to go out for a throw-in on the near side, but the seconds are slipping away for Scotland's hopes of finishing top 2 in this group. Perisic bowls it back the way to Shutalo, who finds Chaleta Tsar. Caught in the rock in a hard place here, Scotland. They need a victory, they need a long-awaited win, and they're so close to that now. You don't want to come forward when they're protecting us, and it's Perisic on the right-hand side. Chops back onto the left, gets the cross in, headed up into the air, and then away by McKenna. A bit panicky. And Robertson's clearance is sliced out for a throw into Croatia on this near side, as the visitors look for one last chance to salvage a point.
I mean, of everybody in the park, you think Andy Robertson plays it calmer there. There's nobody near him. He has a swipe with the left foot to put it out for the throw-in, when he could easily have taken it down and shown much more composure.
Last chance for Croatia. Perisic's throw-in's headed away by Robertson, and then Shutalo goes all the way back to his keeper. In the final few seconds here, it's played short there by Katarski, the goalkeeper, to Modric inside the Scotland half. Clear by Gilmour. Now from Scott McTominay's on it. We've played the 5 minutes. I make it. Scotland trying to get numbers forward. McTominay has had to wait. He goes down. Brought down. Free kick. And it looks like the ref's going to let them take it as well. This is it now. One last chance to swing the ball into the box potentially here for Scotland, wide in the right.
Well, it's about the delivery now, isn't it? And you just hope that it is a delivery that is going to make Croatia have to defend, and perhaps we get that little bit of luck at an end of the game.
That's it, it's all over. It's a win for Scotland at long last, and a first win in Nations League A, which keeps their hopes of staying at this level for the next edition of the tournament alive. John McGinn's first goal since the last victory, which came against Gibraltar in Faro. Dried up a little bit for him recently, but there's only 4 players in the Scotland men's national side history of more goals than him now, having drawn level with McCoist tonight with what proved to be the late winner. Off the bench he came, And super John McGinn was there to rifle it home. It ended up taking a touch on its way through into the roof of the net to give Scotland a precious win. Croatia were down to 10 men for the second half in its entirety in the final few minutes of the first, having battered Scotland really in those early exchanges. Craig Gordon made a few saves. McTominay forced a save from Katarski up the other end as well. But it was a really poor first half performance by Scotland. Their use of the ball is going to have to be a whole lot better against this standard of opponent, and I think in fairness we've seen that in the previous 3 games. The red card was the turning point. Ben Doak tested Katarski quite late on. The Croatia goalkeeper didn't have a whole lot to do in that second half, but he did have to pick the ball out of the net when John McGinn struck home his 19th goal for his country, and it was very, very timely. The 2 or 3 repercussions of this result, they mean Scotland cannot finish in the top 2 of Nations League A Group 1. They needed a 2-goal victory to overturn the head-to-head against Croatia, who will finish second. And it also eliminates all chances of Scotland being in pot 1 for the World Cup qualifying draw. There remains a faint hope of pot 2, so keep an eye out on the Czech Republic score in Albania tomorrow night. For that one, Scotland hoping the Czechs don't pick up any more than 3 points in their 2 games. And they also need to win in Warsaw to try and sneak into pot 2. At the moment, it still stands at pot 3. But at least the long wait for a competitive victory is over. Larnaca last September was the last one. Finally, that 1 win in 16 can be forgotten about. It's 1 win out of 1. Thanks to John McGinn. It finished here on match day 5 in Nations League A Group 1. Scotland 1, 10-man Croatia 0.
Scotland in the UEFA Nations League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.